The Atlanta skyline blurred past my office window as I checked my watch for the third time in 5 minutes. Two more presentations to sit through, then I could finally call home. My daughter Emily had her dance recital tonight, and I'd promised to walk her through her routine one more time before bed. My phone buzzed. Private number. I almost sent it to voicemail, but something made me answer. Is this James Morrison? Speaking. Mr. Morrison, this is Dr. Patricia Williams from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I'm calling about your daughter, Emily. My heart stopped. What happened? Is she okay? Your daughter is in our pediatric ICU. She was brought in 2 hours ago with severe respiratory distress and cardiac irregularities. Mr. Morrison, her condition is critical. The room tilted. What? How? She was fine this morning. She's with her grandmother. I understand this is shocking. Your wife gave us this number. We need you here as soon as possible. My ex-wife. We've been divorced 3 years, but I'd never stop being Emily's dad. I'm on my way. 20 minutes. I grabbed my jacket and ran. The elevator ride down felt like forever. I'd been hesitant about letting Emily spend the weekend at Linda's mother's house. My ex had remarried 6 months ago. Some guy named Derek who worked in pharmaceutical sales. Her mother, Patricia, had been pushing hard to bond with her granddaughter. Linda insisted it would be good for Emily to have female influence while I was working late on the Henderson account. I should have trusted my gut. Traffic crawled. I called Linda. No answer. I called again, voicemail. When I finally burst through the ICU doors, a nurse intercepted me. Mr. Morrison? This way. She led me to a room where machines beeped and hummed. And there, in the bed, was my baby girl. 8 years old, tubes everywhere. Her face was pale, lips slightly blue. An oxygen mask covered her nose and mouth. Emily. I moved to her side, taking her small hand, so cold. Mr. Morrison? I turned. A woman in a white coat stood in the doorway. South Asian, maybe 40, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. I'm Dr. Williams. I've been treating Emily since she arrived. What happened to her? She was brought in by your ex-wife and her mother. They said Emily collapsed after dinner. Difficulty breathing, irregular heartbeat, severe nausea. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was barely conscious. Collapsed? Emily's perfectly healthy. She runs track, takes dance, never even gets colds. Dr. Williams glanced at the doorway, then moved closer, lowering her voice. Mr. Morrison, I need to ask you something. Has Emily ever had any heart problems, seizures? Any reason she'd be on cardiac medication? No. Nothing. Why? Her initial blood panel showed concerning levels of digitalis. It's a heart medication, but it's extremely dangerous in the wrong dose. Especially for children. My stomach dropped. Someone gave her heart medication. Who would? The story we were given was that Emily found her grandmother's pills and took them, thinking they were candy. But, Mr. Morrison, the levels in her blood suggest repeated doses over at least 24 hours. And there's something else. She pulled out her tablet, showing me charts I didn't understand. Your daughter's symptoms are consistent with intentional poisoning. The pattern, the timing, the specific medication involved. I've seen this before in cases of she hesitated. In cases where someone wanted to cause harm. The room spun. You're saying someone poisoned my daughter? I'm saying the evidence doesn't match the story we were told. The door opened. Linda walked in, her mother right behind her. Patricia was perfectly put together, as always. Designer outfit, not a hair out of place. Linda looked stressed, mascara smudged. James. Linda's voice was tight. I'm so glad you're here. What happened? I kept my voice level, watching them both. It was horrible, Patricia said, dabbing at dry eyes with a tissue. Poor thing found my pills and took a whole handful before I could stop her. Children, you know, they think pills are candy. Where were you? I asked Linda. I was at the gym. Mom called me, frantic. We rushed her right to the hospital. Dr. Williams' expression remained neutral, but I saw something flicker in her eyes. Mrs. Morrison, I'll need to ask you both some follow-up questions about the medication and timing. Of course, doctor. Anything to help. Patricia's smile didn't reach her eyes. They left to speak with the doctor. I stayed with Emily, holding her hand, whispering that Daddy was here, that everything would be okay. Except nothing felt okay. My phone buzzed. Text from my assistant. Henderson presentation went great. They signed. Congratulations. The Henderson account. $2 million commission, life insurance policy I'd taken out on Emily when she was born, updated last year when I got the promotion. $2 million payout with Linda as beneficiary until Emily turned 18, then Emily got everything. No, I was being paranoid. Linda loved Emily. Her mother was overbearing but not. Emily's hand twitched. Her eyes fluttered open behind the oxygen mask. When she saw me, they went wide with panic, not relief. She tried to speak, but the mask muffled everything. Her free hand moved weakly, plucking at my sleeve, desperate to communicate something. Shh, baby, don't try to talk. You need to rest. She shook her head frantically, hands scrabbling on the blanket, looking for something. A nurse had left a pen and small notepad on the bedside table for charting. Emily grabbed the pen, her hand shaking so badly she could barely grip it. I held the notepad steady. Okay, baby, write it down. Take your time. Her hand moved in shaky letters. I watched each word appear, my blood turning to ice. Grandma put pills in my food. Every meal since Friday. Mom knows. She dropped the pen, exhausted. Looked at me with those huge, terrified eyes. I picked up the note, hands shaking. Read it again. And again. Mr. Morrison, a different nurse had entered. I need to check her vitals. I folded the note, slipping it into my pocket. Smiled at Emily, stroking her hair. You rest now, sweetheart. Daddy's here. Her eyes pleaded with me. I leaned close, whispering in her ear. I believe you. I'm going to fix this. I promise. I stepped into the hallway, pulled out my phone. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely dial. Morrison and Associates Law Firm. How may I direct your call? I need to speak with Richard Morrison. Tell him it's his brother. Emergency. Richard was a defense attorney, but he'd know what to do. James? What's wrong? I walked farther down the hall, away from Emily's room. Kept my voice low. I need advice. Legal advice. If I thought someone was trying to hurt Emily, possibly kill her, for insurance money, what would I do? Silence. Then, where are you? Children's Healthcare. Don't move. Don't talk to anyone. I'm coming now. I ended the call and nearly walked into Dr. Williams. Mr. Morrison, I wonder if you might come with me to my office. There's something I need to discuss with you privately. Her office was small, cramped with medical texts and family photos. She closed the door, gestured for me to sit. I'm going to be direct with you, she said. I don't believe the story we were told about how Emily ingested that medication. The blood levels, the timing, the specific symptoms, none of it adds up to a child accidentally taking pills once. I pulled out Emily's note, handed it to her. She read it, face paling. Oh my God. What do we do? First, we keep Emily safe. I'm going to order that no one except approved medical staff be allowed in her room. Second, I'm calling the hospital's security and patient advocacy team. Third, she looked at me. Third, we need to call the police. This is attempted murder. Her own mother, her grandmother. Why would they? The life insurance, Dr. Williams said quietly. You mentioned you recently updated it? $2 million. I thought I was being responsible, making sure Emily would be taken care of if anything happened to me. Who's the beneficiary? Linda, until Emily turns 18. Then it goes directly to Emily. Mr. Morrison, if Emily dies before 18, your ex-wife gets $2 million. If she dies after 18, she gets nothing. The calculation was so cold, so clear. Emily was 8. 10 years of waiting, or they're trying to kill my daughter. We don't have proof yet, but we will. I'm running a full toxicology panel, and I'm going to pull every piece of medical data from the moment she arrived. If someone's been poisoning her systematically, it'll show up. The door opened. Richard stood there, 6'3" of protective older brother energy. James. Richard, thank God. Doctor. Williams quickly filled him in. Richard's face turned to stone as she spoke. We need the police here now, he said, and I need to make some calls. James, don't go back to that room alone. Don't leave Emily alone with anyone. Doctor, can you arrange for a security guard? Already done. He's outside her room as we speak. Good. James, where are Linda and Patricia now? Somewhere in the hospital. They went with Dr. Williams earlier for questions. They don't know, you know? No. I smiled at them. Acted normal. Perfect. Keep it that way. The next 4 hours were a blur. Two detectives arrived, Rodriguez and Chen. Young, sharp-eyed. They took Emily's note, my statement, spoke quietly with Dr. Williams. More blood was drawn from Emily, this time testing for a broader range of substances. I stayed in her room, watching her sleep fitfully, machines beeping steadily. The security guard, Marcus, stood outside the door like a sentinel. Linda and Patricia tried to come in twice. Marcus turned them away both times. Doctor's orders. Patient needs rest. I could hear Patricia's voice rising in the hallway. That's my granddaughter. You can't keep me out. Ma'am, I understand your concern, but this is ridiculous. Linda, call your lawyer. Their voices faded as they moved away. Good. The farther from Emily, the better. Detective Rodriguez appeared in the doorway. Mr. Morrison, can we talk? I stepped into the hall. Chen joined us, laptop open. Dr. Williams fast-tracked the expanded toxicology panel. Rodriguez said, your daughter has been given digoxin, that heart medication, but also small amounts of diphenhydramine, which is Benadryl, I said. Antihistamine. Right. In small doses over several days, it would make a child drowsy, compliant. Easier to give her more medication without resistance. My hands clenched into fists. There's more, Chen said. We contacted Emily's school. She missed 3 days last week. Linda called her in sick, said Emily had the flu. She told me Emily was fine, just having a girls' weekend with Grandma. Mr. Morrison, we think they've been planning this for at least a week. Building up medication in her system slowly, establishing a pattern of illness, so when she finally had a cardiac event, it would seem like a tragic accident or undiagnosed heart condition. But she wrote the note. She told us, kids are smarter than adults think, Rodriguez said. They watch, they listen. Emily knew something was wrong. She's very brave. Can you arrest them? We need more evidence. Right now, we have Emily's statement, which is powerful, but she's 8. Defense lawyers would tear it apart. We need Patricia's medication bottles, proof they had access to the drugs, maybe security footage or phone records showing premeditation. What do? We wire you up, Rodriguez said. You go talk to them. Get them to confess. Think you can do that? To save my daughter? I'd do anything. 20 minutes later, I had a tiny microphone clipped under my shirt. Rodriguez and Chen would be in a hospital security office nearby, listening to everything. Remember, Rodriguez said, you're devastated, confused. You trust them, you need their support. Make them comfortable. Let them think they're getting away with it. I found Linda and Patricia in the family waiting room. Patricia looked annoyed. Linda looked exhausted. James. Linda stood. They wouldn't let us see Emily. What's going on? I made my voice shake. She's stable. They said she needs rest. No visitors except parents. Patricia's mouth tightened. I'm her grandmother. I have every right. It's hospital policy, Patricia. I'm sorry. I sat down heavily, put my head in my hands. I just can't believe this happened. Emily's always been so healthy. Linda sat beside me, put a hand on my shoulder. It was an accident, James. A horrible accident. But how? Patricia, you said she found your pills? Patricia dabbed at her eyes again. I take digoxin for my heart condition. I thought they were safely put away. But you know children. They get into everything. I just feel so guilty, I said. If I'd been there, if I hadn't let her come for the weekend. Don't blame yourself, Linda said. These things happen. The doctor asked me about the life insurance policy. I watched them carefully. The one I updated last year. Something flickered across Linda's face. What about it? She was just confirming beneficiary information. Standard procedure, I guess. $2 million. Thank God I got that policy. If Emily had I choked up, which wasn't hard, if we lost her, at least financially. You can't think like that, Patricia interrupted. Emily's going to be fine. Is she? I looked at Linda. They said her heart is damaged, that she might need medication for the rest of her life, that there could be lasting effects. Linda's face was unreadable. She's alive. That's what matters. When did she take the pills? I asked Patricia. I'm trying to understand the timeline. Saturday night, after dinner. I found her in my bathroom, pills scattered everywhere. But she's been sick since Friday, right? That's when you picked her up from my place. Patricia hesitated. She was fine Friday. Started feeling sick Saturday. The school said she missed 3 days last week. Linda tensed. What? I called to let them know she was okay. They mentioned she'd been absent Monday through Wednesday. That you called her in sick. Oh, right. She had a cold. I forgot about that. Funny, she didn't mention it to me. We FaceTimed every night. She seemed fine. Kids hide illness, Patricia said. She probably didn't want to worry you. I nodded slowly. The doctors are running more tests. They want to see if there's an underlying condition that made her react so badly to the medication. Some kind of heart problem we didn't know about. What kind of tests? Linda asked too quickly. Full cardiac workup, genetic testing, extended toxicology panel. They're being very thorough. Patricia and Linda exchanged a glance. Brief but telling. That seems excessive, Patricia said. The poor child has been through enough. They said it's standard for this type of poisoning. Silence. Poisoning? Linda's voice was careful. She wasn't poisoned. She took pills by accident. Right, of course. That's what I meant. Digoxin poisoning. Technical term. Another silence. Longer this time. Well, Patricia stood. I should get home. It's been a long day. Me too, Linda said. James, will you be staying here tonight? Not leaving her side. Of course. We'll come by tomorrow. Actually, I said, the doctor said Emily needs to remain isolated for 48 hours while they stabilize her medication levels and run tests. No visitors except parents. Patricia's face flushed. That's absurd. I need to see my granddaughter. Doctor's orders. I'm sorry. They left. I waited 5 minutes, then headed back to the security office. Rodriguez looked disappointed. They didn't give us much. They got nervous when I mentioned the extended tests, I said. And Linda lied about Emily missing school. It's something, but not enough for an arrest. What about a search warrant? Chin suggested. For Patricia's house, Linda's house, phone records, we can try, but we need probable cause beyond a child's note and some suspicious conversations. What if, I said slowly, what if they think Emily's getting worse? That she might not make it? Rodriguez frowned. What are you suggesting? If they think they're about to get caught, or if they think Emily might wake up and say more, they might try again. And this time, we'll catch them. You want to use your daughter as bait? No. But I want to let them think they still have a chance to finish what they started. Under controlled conditions. With police protection. Chin and Rodriguez looked at each other. It's risky, Chin said. Everything's risky. My daughter almost died. These people aren't going to stop unless we stop them. We spent the next hour working out details. The plan was simple. I'd call Linda, tell her Emily had taken a turn for the worse, that the doctors were considering moving her to ICU, that visiting hours had been extended for immediate family only. We'd set up cameras, have plainclothes officers in the room, and wait. If Linda or Patricia tried to harm Emily again, we'd have them. I made the call from Emily's room, speaker on so Rodriguez could hear. Linda? It's me. James? What's wrong? You sound terrible. It's Emily. She's gotten worse. Her heart isn't responding to treatment the way they hoped. They're talking about moving her to intensive ICU, maybe putting her on life support. I heard Linda's sharp intake of breath. Oh, God. When? They're not sure. Could be tonight. Could be tomorrow. They said family should be here, in case I let my voice break. In case we need to say goodbye. I'm coming right now. They said visiting hours end at 8. But they're making an exception for immediate family. You can come after, stay as long as you need. Okay, I'll be there. She hung up. I looked at Rodriguez. Now, we wait. They set up 2 cameras in Emily's room, hidden in the ceiling panels. Plainclothes Officer Davis would be disguised as a night nurse. Detective Chin would be in the room next door. Rodriguez would monitor from security. Emily was awake now, watching everything with wide eyes. I'd explained everything to her, careful to keep my voice calm. She was scared but trying to be brave. You're being so strong, baby, I told her, kissing her forehead. Just a little longer, and then we'll go home, and you'll never have to see them again. Will Mommy go to jail? The question gutted me. Probably. I'm sorry. She was going to let me die. I know, sweetheart. I know. Why? Because some people love money more than they love people. And that makes them do terrible things. I love you, Daddy. I love you too. So much. 8:15. Linda arrived, Patricia with her. They signed in, got visitor badges, took the elevator up. I was sitting beside Emily's bed when they walked in. I'd been crying real tears, thinking about how close I'd come to losing her. James. Linda moved to the other side of the bed. Oh, sweetheart, look at you. Emily's eyes tracked her mother, but she didn't speak. I told her to pretend to be more sedated than she was. How is she? Patricia asked. Not good. They said her heart is failing. The digoxin did too much damage. That's terrible, Linda whispered. But her eyes looked calculating, measuring. Is she in pain? They have her on morphine. She's not really conscious. What are they saying? About her chances? 50-50. Maybe less. If her heart doesn't stabilize by morning, I couldn't finish. Patricia put a hand on my shoulder. James, these things are in God's hands now. Linda was staring at Emily's IV lines. 3 bags hanging, clear liquid dripping steadily. You should get some rest, Linda said. You've been here all day. Patricia and I can sit with her for a while. I don't want to leave her. Just go grab some coffee. 15 minutes. We'll be right here. Every instinct screamed not to leave Emily alone with them. But this was the plan. Rodriguez was listening. Davis was at the nurse's station. Chin was next door. Emily had a panic button clipped to her gown, disguised as a patient monitor. Okay, just 15 minutes. I walked out, went around the corner, slipped into the room next door where Chin was waiting, headphones on, laptop showing camera feeds from Emily's room. Anything? Not yet. Wait. On the screen, Linda was checking the hallway. Then she closed Emily's door most of the way. Leaving it open just a crack normal for hospital rooms wouldn't raise suspicion. Patricia moved to Emily's IV line, pulled something from her purse. A small syringe. That's it. Chin breathed into his radio. All units, we have visual confirmation. Suspect is preparing to inject something into the IV line. On camera, Patricia uncapped the syringe. Linda stood watch at the door. What do you think? Patricia asked quietly. 2 minutes, Linda replied. Make it quick. Then we call the nurse, say we found her like this. Patricia moved the syringe toward the IV port. Emily's eyes snapped open. She hit the panic button. Alarm screamed. Davis burst through the door, followed immediately by Rodriguez and 2 uniformed officers from the hallway. Police. Drop the syringe. Hands where I can see them. Patricia froze, syringe still in hand. Linda spun toward the door, face draining of color. Step away from the patient. Now. I ran into the room, scooped Emily into my arms, carrying her away from them. She was crying, shaking. It's okay, baby. You're safe. You're safe. Patricia dropped the syringe. Rodriguez caught it in an evidence bag. Patricia Hartwell, Linda Morrison, you're under arrest for attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. You have the right to remain silent. This is insane, Patricia shrieked. We weren't doing anything. Ma'am, we have you on camera preparing to inject an unknown substance into a minor's IV line. We have recorded conversations establishing motive. We have testimony from the victim. You're going to jail. Linda was crying now. James, please, you don't understand. We're so far in debt. Derek lost his job, Mom's medical bills, the house we needed the money. We need that insurance money. So, you were going to kill our daughter? She would have just gone to sleep. Wouldn't have felt anything. You would have been okay. You'd have gotten the insurance too, eventually. And what? I just move on? Forget I had a daughter? James, please. Get them out of here. Rodriguez and the uniforms led them away, handcuffed, still protesting. Patricia was screaming about her rights, about lawyers. Linda was sobbing. I didn't care. Emily was shaking in my arms. Daddy, I was so scared. I know, baby. I know. But you were so brave. So brave. Dr. Williams appeared in the doorway. Mr. Morrison, I need to check Emily over, make sure she's okay. Of course. I set Emily back on the bed. She wouldn't let go of my hand. I've got you, sweetheart. Not letting go. Detective Chin approached. The syringe contained a concentrated dose of potassium chloride. If she'd injected it, Emily would have gone into cardiac arrest within seconds. There would have been no saving her. My legs went weak. I sat down hard in the chair. We've also got search warrants now for both residences. We'll find more evidence, build an airtight case. They're not walking away from this. Thank you. Thank Emily. If she hadn't been brave enough to write that note, to trust you, Chin shook his head. Most kids wouldn't have thought of it. She's smart. Like her mom used to be, before I couldn't finish. Before greed poisoned her, Chin said quietly. The next few days were a blur. Emily stayed in the hospital for 72 more hours while Dr. Williams monitored her heart function. The digoxin was slowly clearing her system, and miraculously, there appeared to be no permanent damage. Richard handled all the legal aspects. The DA was pursuing attempted murder, conspiracy, child endangerment, fraud. Linda and Patricia were both denied bail, considered flight risks. The story hit the news. Local reporters camped outside the hospital. I gave one statement: my daughter is a survivor. That's all that matters. Derek, Linda's husband, came to see me on the third day. He looked haggard. I didn't know, he said. I swear to God, I had no idea what they were planning. Did you know about the insurance policy? Linda mentioned it. Said it was smart planning. I didn't know. He broke down. She's my wife. I thought I knew her. Yeah, me too. Is Emily okay? She will be. Eventually. I'm so sorry. Just don't contact us again, please. He nodded and left. The search warrants turned up more evidence than we needed. Patricia's house had a makeshift pharmacy in her bathroom, bottles of digoxin, potassium chloride, various sedatives. Linda's phone had texts to Patricia discussing dosages, timing. The best way to make it look natural. They've been planning it for 2 months. The trial was set for 6 months out, but Richard said it would likely never go to trial. The evidence was overwhelming. They plead out, take a deal. What kind of deal? I asked. 25 years, minimum. Probably more for Patricia, since she was the primary actor. Linda will argue she was coerced, but the texts prove otherwise. Good. Emily was discharged on a Friday afternoon. I'd taken leave from work, planned to spend the next month just being with her. We'd need therapy, both of us. She'd need time to process what her mother had done. But we'd get through it together. On the drive home, Emily was quiet, looking out the window at the Atlanta traffic. Daddy? Yeah, baby? Can we still do my recital routine? I missed it because I was sick. I'd forgotten about the dance recital. Of course, when we get home, we'll practice as much as you want. And can we go to that place with a good mac and cheese? Tomorrow. We'll make a whole day of it. Okay. She was quiet for another moment. Daddy? Am I a bad person for being glad Mommy's in jail? I pulled over, put the car in park, turned to face her. Emily, listen to me. You are not bad. Not at all. What your mom did, what Grandma Patricia did, that was evil. You have every right to feel however you feel about it. Angry, sad, relieved, all of it. None of that makes you bad. I loved her. I know. But she tried to kill me. I know. I don't understand. Neither do I, sweetheart. Neither do I. We sat there for a while, cars rushing past us on the highway. Finally, Emily wiped her eyes. Can we go home now? Yeah. Let's go home. 3 months later, I sat in a courtroom and watched Linda and Patricia plead guilty. Linda got 20 years. Patricia got 30. They both turned to look at me before the bailiffs took them away. I don't know what they expected: forgiveness? Understanding? I looked at Emily, sitting beside Richard, coloring in a book. She was seeing a therapist twice a week, having nightmares sometimes. But she was healing. I turned back to Linda and Patricia, looked them in the eyes, felt nothing. 6 months after that, Emily and I moved to a new house in Decatur. Fresh start, new school, new neighbors who didn't know our story. Emily joined the dance team at our new school, made friends, laughed again. One Saturday morning, she came into the kitchen where I was making pancakes, her favorite, with chocolate chips. Daddy, can we call Grandpa Rich? I want to show him my new dance routine. Richard had stepped into the grandfather role naturally, showing up for recitals and school events, teaching Emily magic tricks and bad jokes. Sure thing. After breakfast, she climbed onto the counter stool, swinging her legs. You know what? What? I'm glad it's just us. You and me. I stopped flipping pancakes. Yeah? Yeah. We're a good team. I set down the spatula, pulled her into a hug. The best team. Daddy, you're squishing me. Too bad. Dad hugs are non-negotiable. She giggled. That sound, that beautiful, ordinary sound, was everything. Outside, it started to rain. Inside, We ate chocolate chip pancakes and talked about Emily's upcoming science fair project. Normal things. Safe things. The life insurance policy sat in a drawer in my office. Unsigned cancellation form on top of it. I'd get to it eventually. Or maybe I wouldn't. It didn't matter. Emily was safe. We were together. And that was all that had ever mattered.